Hi guys, I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, crucial stories. And we hope that you guys will subscribe, become members of Comic Club yourself, share your own opinions in the comments below, stick around till after our discussion for our comic quality poll, and potentially bloopers after the Misfit Picture Show's logo.
Yes.
Mr. Garen, here we are, X-Men issue 1 by Jonathan Hickman, Leno Francis Yu, and an inker who I can't pronounce his name, as well as a brand new colorist. This is not Marte Gracia. I'm going to show you those names right now so we can give them proper credit. X-Men issue 1, the first issue of the new Dawn of X-Men launch, and Jonathan Hickman has done his homework. Put in the work, and now he can play a little bit and have some fun. Mr. Garen, what did you think?
Yeah. Just starting off, an overall review, without even diving into it, it was good. It was great for anybody who read Powers and House. It added to it for if someone were to pick up X-Men issue 1. But I can see how there might be some things that go over people's heads if they started with just X-Men issue 1.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
So jumping right into it, though, I loved it just how knowing exactly who... I didn't expect that scene for Scott to open his eyes.
Oh, okay.
I didn't expect that scene, you know?
It's like a flashback.
But it was that...
pretty important moment.
And that's why I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a pretty special moment for the two of them. And, you know, if you think about Joe Casey's X-Men Children of the Atom, and about how Charles was the first father figure after he was orphaned who showed him compassion. Doubly so in this, that he's giving him these glasses. It's like a big moment.
Yeah.
And it's a cool way to establish and open. And I think X-Men issue 1 to open with Charles and his pseudo-son, Cyclops. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really fitting.
Yeah.
I love on the cover... Actually, before we get into that, even though I was very, very grateful that we did this digital release at midnight for us, Marvel Comics put together a midnight special party release for any retail, your local comic shop store. And I actually, if you're going to have a promotion like that and have comic book stores the ability, hey, you can sell it at midnight.
Yeah.
And to get that buzz back, like the early 90s, there would be lines around the corner for this midnight release. They should delay the digital release. If they're going to agree to have that in comic shops, there should be like a 6-hour window.
Yeah.
Where the digital release, that's kind of, if you comic book stores are going to open at midnight,
this is what we're going to do
pay
for
your
you.
staff and have people there and do the promotional thing, we're going to delay the digital release for 6 hours to encourage the people to go there for the stores. I'm grateful they didn't, but I think they really should, personally. That being said, love the cover, love the Summers clan. They've really grown through the years. It's really a massive and glorious history with these characters, and particularly Rachel Summers. I'm just glad to see them. It's a cool, it's a cool thing, and I like, if you are a new reader, here's the X-Men, and here's all their names. They just kind of have
I was like, I even said that right off the bat, like having that initial part with Scott and Professor Xavier, and then jumping right into it, and I thought of right then, like, if I hadn't read the Powers and House, and I'm jumping right into it, and it's a brave new world, mutants around or flocking to the island of Krakoa, you know, and these are your, standing between them and the rest these are the X-Men.
Yeah, again, Hickman has really done the work. He's set up this new status quo, and I feel like he's just playing, like, there's so much character work and fun in this issue. It's almost a relief after House and Powers of X. Yeah. And having both of us have just read all 12 issues for a 3-parter
Yeah.
that we're doing, hopefully releasing very, very rapidly. I hope you guys will check it out with spoilers, reflections, and predictions.
Yes.
It's pretty fun, and there's actually a couple moments in there. One in particular, which I think is the best moment that we've had on Investigating Comic Club.
Yeah.
With Mr. Guerin. He might be a little embarrassed by it, but
no,
it's a lot.
When that moment happened, I was grateful I had that reaction because it was the most genuine. But at the same time, like, so anyway.
Yeah, check them out. Check them out. We're gonna release them as rapidly as possible.
No, but again, I love seeing this is the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like them just to right off the bat, like going through the names of like the ones I do know, the ones I don't, the ones I've learned even just recently putting together. Seeing Wolverine, Vulcan, Cable, Havoc, Jean Grey, Polaris. I knew that just by even some of the other stuff.
They confirm in this issue she calls Magneto father.
Yeah.
So in this status quo, that has been that works with the timeline that I know, and it's cool to see them together playing off of each other. I loved it. Opens up with Storm and Cyclops raiding one of the Orcus, the last establishments. I think that he does a really marvelous job of establishing, for new readers if they haven't read House and Powers, I think he establishes just enough with Orcus. Clearly they've been defeating and taking this humanity's last stand down. You kind of get it. And I think that with the X-Men lore, even though every time I'm kind of reading, I wonder what a new reader would think, there comes a point where you've put in the time and you have your own personal history with the X-Men, where you're just grateful that you're not a new reader. Everybody's a new reader. Everybody hasn't read certain issues. But the issues you have, there are so many beautiful characters that, that's cool to see that character. Whereas another person will know this story. That's cool to see that character and have that history.
Yeah.
Seeing Cyclops and Storm, these are the two leaders of the X-Men. Cyclops is kind of playful with her. She's actually on her last. You get to learn that she's kind of exhausted. She's pretty much done. And that purple sentinel creeps up on her, and seeing Cyclops is like kind of over her. It's beautiful. It's really lovely. And him like, that's one of my good qualities.
Yeah, it's just one of my good qualities. I even put that. I was like, Cyclops. He's got
he's playful.
Yeah, he's playful. He's snarky. He's got his
he's happy.
Yeah, he's happy. Yeah.
And throughout House and Powers, and from my understanding, many years of Cyclops, the last few years, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding that character. He seems like he's in a very healthy place throughout this issue. And I love that Magneto comes. Magneto's a big shot. He's an Omega. He's on the council.
Yeah.
Storm's on the council. Scott is not on the council. Once they release these things, Polaris asks, are we going to go chase these people that got away?
Yeah.
And Magneto says yes. But as we've read, the field leaders can trump it.
Yeah.
Regardless if you're on the council, wherever you are, the field leaders, they're battle savvy. And I love that Cyclops, without any friction, he says, no, this is our plan and we're sticking to it. Yeah. And Magneto follows it.
We can figure it out later. We can do that later. It's one of those, now this is not what we're here for. And it's cool that then that's the reveal of what they're there for. Even with Magneto in there, and he even has some wittiness, fun stuff that he says, and then, it's fun back and forth. And and this is something I just was noticing too, is like seeing panel by panel. I loved how it kind of looks like, it's a mixture of like pop art, like that pop art kind of style. There's even like different portions of it where it's like the pop art, but it also reminds me of, just one blank.
Your boy?
My boy.
Rob Liefeld?
Yeah.
The cross-hatching.
Yeah. Again, I don't have much to go off of as far as, my repertoire of artists. But it is fun, like, to see that. And I first saw Rob Liefeld's
I can see what you're saying, and for sure. Leno Francis Yu, very, very different artists than the two that we've seen on House and Powers. His art, depending on your tastes, the way you're looking at it panel to panel, isn't as fluid or attractive as the other two artists, but his qualities, he certainly has them. Yeah, it's super cool. I really like his artwork. Often I feel like sometimes he might be a bit stiff, but seeing Storm and Cyclops doing that, like, drop and roll fire.
Oh yeah.
And getting to the other side. It's his storytelling, panel to panel storytelling, is getting much, much better from the last time I saw his work. Even though the colors are not Marte Gracia, and I do feel like Gracia is probably more of like a color artist.
Yeah.
This is very good.
Yeah.
It's very good, and I might not be following completely what was happening with these mutants being captured by these people, but enough. You know, like clearly they're experimenting on them. Clearly they're studying them.
Yep.
Something bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
So they're saving them. The mission is successful. I love little storms. Not little storms, but I love storms. Little planting of the
which was cool. Like to see that,
and watering it.
That was kind of we saw it and passed us, but I mean, like even as a first time reader of this, seeing that and being like, oh, that's all, you know, like. Or, you know, like you create this portal. It's like, oh, what? She just pulled out this flower? You know, like if you didn't know. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of the first time we've seen even that occur.
Kind of in action.
In action, yeah. We know how it works, but for it to be like, this is your duty, our duty's here. You know, it's like, she does the whole lightning and then...
It's interesting. Hickman thrusts us into this story with them on a mission.
Yep.
But it's very, very different from the ways that he's established scenes within House and Powers. This one breathes. When they get back to Krakoa, I like that Storm, you see her almost rejuvenated. She's smiling. She wants to be with the Doctor and care for these mutants.
Yeah.
And Cyclops says something really beautiful and not like him at all. Something lovely is that we're not alone here. We can share, there's others to share the burden with. Like, that's a very non-Cyclops thing to say. That's progress for him. And he even says, okay, well, you stick it out, but I'm going to check on you later. You feel that they're a family.
No, you feel like there's a family, and kind of jumping back the second with...
The negative? The person that's a post-human?
Yeah, post-human, child born at a time I wasn't fully cooked.
Yeah, that design is so simple with the kind of the negative of her. What a cool character design. So simple, but like genius. Yeah. Like that is such a cool panel. That's a cool shot, I'm weak, so weak. I want to know so much more about that.
Yeah, character. Exactly. It's enough to be like, where did you come from? What went wrong? Yeah, even it to come up being like the scanner, so technically post-human. Like just being like, this isn't something that we're used to seeing.
This is something to explore. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And then for them to go back again to Krakoa, but they're chanting Magneto, Magneto.
Right. These kids
love him. Exactly. And it's I love the moment where Cyclops even says, he deserved, you know, like he's been waiting for this a long time, as have we all. Yeah,
Polaris says he's like a kid again. It makes me uncomfortable, you know, which is kind of cute because, you know, she's looking at her dad and he's just, you know, this is a little weird. She's still finding her way, which makes sense for Lorna's character. She's a bit, she had gone through some problems. And I love the words that Cyclops says to her. They are filled with hope, not the cynicism that I think was prominent in the House and Powers series. She even says, do you really believe all that? And I don't think that she says it in a way that's like there's a threat or like it's ominous. She just really wants to know because she's finding her way. And he says, I believe, like, I mean every word. This is essentially
I'm home.
Important steps.
It was a lot of important. He turned over a whole new leaf, and he's talking about his whole, you know, the summer household.
We spend a lot of time with Cyclops in this issue. We spend some time with Lorna, Magneto, Storm. He establishes certain characteristics with all of them. They all seem to be in a good place. Again, issue 1 of X-Men, it almost seems appropriate, though, that the real character we get to know very, very well where he's at is Cyclops. In issue 1 of X-Men, seems correct. Well done. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a good choice.
They want you to know who the leader is of the X-Men, and it's like bringing that reality of it as far as even like the father-son bonding, starting out with Xavier and him, and then the father-son bonding, and then showing him with all the, you know, the family, just the family in general, like
oh my God! After House and Powers, we're giving a dinner cooking scene,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Logan and Vulcan are snarky at each other because of Logan wants his steak rare. Like, it's really fun. Yeah. It's really fun.
And Vulcan's fun too. Like, I mean, I don't know much about him, but even in this, it's enough for that. You know, like, I know enough, but it's just that snarkiness. It is this family bonding. It's like, it's not just like missions and fighting and stuff.
It's family dynamic. You know, Cable, clearly much younger than the Cable we're used to.
Yeah, for sure. Which is awesome, because I even kept going back being like, is that him? It's gotta be. He's got the hair, he's got the eye, it's gotta be, right? Who else is this? You know, like, which is cool.
Mom, can I trade guns?
Yeah, it's just like, what?
Little moment with Rachel. Everything at the table, everything there, it's all pretty special.
Mm-hmm. And then him to give his dad that flower.
The portal.
Yeah, the portal flower. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and be like, look, wherever you are, I'll be there. Or you can be there, you know?
In our spoilers, reflections, and predictions video, I had a prediction that came much sooner than I was expecting. We get Dr. Gregor and Karima back right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And they are not going to go down easily.
I loved reading into the summer house, saying how Vulcan has been bringing home quite a few acquaintances from the Krakoan mainland who have stretched the acceptable bounds of decorum. Yeah. So it's just like it's just like, Vulcan, what do you do? Okay, this is our home. Stop bringing home. Just bring home strays over here. Like, just like, what do you do?
It's pretty great.
He's like, hey, I gotta. You want to come back to the moon? Want to come back to the moon? I gotta live on the moon.
You gotta see this view.
Yeah, you gotta see this view. You bet you've never seen a view like this before. Blue side of the moon. Have you ever? Like,
it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I can't wait for more. One thing I noticed: Jean has her own room. She's not living. She's not staying in the room with Cyclops.
You're always good at reading into that stuff.
One thing that's a little weird. Why is Wolverine staying at the House of Summers?
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a. There's always been like a bit of a triangle there that's weird with Jean and Cyclops. Look at where Jean's room is placed.
I noticed.
Jean's room is in between Cyclops and Logan's. Moving on. Yeah. But is she married with a son? Is that what Wolverine is? Is that the gossip?
It's the gossip, exactly, yeah.
What did you think of the conversation between Cyclops and his father as they washed dishes? Like, you don't know anything about Corsair, right? His father?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, so how did that read for you?
All of the parts of this with his father, for me, just grounded it more.
Yeah.
It just made it more real for, like, stuff hits the fan. You know, like, when life is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It just makes it that much more real. Because he even says, he's like, dude, son, be careful.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah, he's concerned.
Yeah, he's concerned.
But Cyclops actually responds with a very thoroughly thought out place that he is at. And almost a contentness that he knows stuff is going to hit the fan. Yeah.
But he's like,
this is how he's choosing to live.
But and it's a cool way to take it too. Whether you take it in this story or in life in general, it's just like, look, life's gonna happen regardless. But I'm surrounded by people who love me, and I'm gonna take it day by day, you know, kind of thing. And he's like, you're a good boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, touche. You know, like with his arm around him and.
Yeah, he's proud of you. Yeah. Great. Then we're back up on Orcus and this new director.
Which is, again, this for me was one of those moments where I was like, right away it was like, JD was right. But at the same time, I was still in my head going, would any of this last part be as cool if I had no idea who or what these things were? You know, if I had never read House of Powers, would this last 2 pages...
No.
Do anything for me?
He establishes that they lost a battle, that her husband was killed in it with the X-Men, and that all of their work to defend humanity was destroyed by the X-Men. Yep. And she's focusing on her husband's and her fight towards...
Yeah, he was the greatest warrior. He was the greatest... Right. Yep.
Now there's something here. This purple stone, obviously, is the same color as Nimrod. Yeah. So that's probably the connection that you make, right?
Yes. No. That's yeah.
So, like Karima, the Omega Sentinel, she
Yeah.
says, "I have a way to bring him back."
Mm-hmm.
And Omega Sentinel, this guy, say what characteristics he has. Her husband.
Oh,
Right there. Yeah.
He was our best military mind, a great strategist,
Yeah.
and hunter. A tower of a man.
So a hunter, sentinels are hunters, Nimrods. He is going to be. Maybe he's the Nimrod.
He's the Nimrod. And that's how she's bringing him back in that, maybe not the form that she lost him in.
Right, but a consciousness
Yeah.
where he's the best strategist,
Mhm.
a hunter. Here we go again. I think it's really cool. Like, I love that he's going forward to this. I said a few times, we don't know how the humans have reacted to the X-Men, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, killing. There were humans that lost lives up there.
Yeah.
Wolverine,
Oh, yeah.
and we
There
saw
was-
the coffins.
Yeah, which was that's
Mhm.
that scene was cool that he put in there, you know, to show that.
Yeah, you see both sides,
Mhm.
and that makes the greatest villains. And I think that we have something great and straightforward set up here. You know, nothing to like try and rack our minds around.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, no, here we go.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for this first issue. I thought it was a lot of fun.
For me, I liked it for the backstory that I was able to already know going into it. The art is different than what I'm used to, but I still like it. It's still powerful. It's still, you know, packs a punch. How this artist is portraying these characters and showing and telling this story.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the moments. You know, of this boy, there was a lot of conversation in this issue.
Yeah.
And I think one of the big problems I was having with House and Power, as I said often, was that how am I supposed to care when we're not given any time to spend with these characters? And this issue, spending time with Cyclops really as the through line, but his conversations with Storm, his observations of Magneto, his conversation with Lorna, his dad, Wolverine and Vulcan. There's, you know, Cable. And like Jean, everything was really special in this issue.
Yeah, no, it all connects, and even me now reading, even just more going back over it and like connecting the dots, which I love doing that. But that whole kitchen scene, it shows the family, and even like with the antimatter rounds, the Celestial's eye it has, in the Celestial eye it has antimatter rounds, and Cable's like, oh my god, I gotta have it. And that gun is like his initial, like the gun he has, you know, which is like, it connects.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like, oh, there's that, you know, like it kind of adds into him being younger Cable, but seeing where he gets this gun that, at least me reading stuff now, it
aligns.
Yeah, it lines it up, you know, which
it's
is
a
nice.
different path.
Yep.
It's a new timeline, but kind of the old timeline.
Yeah.
And you're seeing hints, and that's cool.
Which is cool to have them. It's good for new readers and old readers, and it's nice for me to like. This is the first time having read House and Powers that I'm jumping into something that is like I'm being like, oh cool, like oh yeah, I do it. Like
I get that.
I get that. Oh yeah, oh that's all right. Oh that's cool. They added that. Oh that's cool. They put that in there.
Like Captain America. Oh, I got that one.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you get a lot of it in this issue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there, and some of it you don't need to know, but the stuff that you do know,
the stuff that
it just complements it.
Yeah.
It makes it a much more enjoyable read. One thing I'll point out, my big prediction in Spoilers, Reflections, and Predictions, our series that's coming up very soon, he mentioned Celestial.
I know.
Twice.
I know.
Just casually throwing
it away. I know.
She wants
Celestials and Celestials and Celestials.
Yeah, something's happening there.
Yeah.
What would you rate it, Gary?
I'll give it a B+.
Cool.
Yeah, I give it a B+.
Right on. I will give this one an A.
Nice.
It was really like a breath of fresh air to spend time with these characters. We get a cool little X-Men assault, but then it's all just rich characters that I enjoyed, that I was grateful to see again, that felt like they were all in character and they're at a good place. And then we're dropped a little couple blips of some hints of some threats that are coming up.
Yeah.
I love this issue as issue 1.
And I think,
right on board.
I think the reason I even paused for between the B plus and the A is because me reading as me, I give it an A. Me reading as, I do think of it as, the second issue, I'm not going to look at it as, oh, if I was a new reader, you know?
No,
for this first issue, I'm thinking for anybody who is just jumping on for X-Men issue 1, it's like,
that's a good point.
There's a little bit too many things that are like, I'm going, oh, that's awesome, and I'm like, but is it awesome because I'm finding it out for the first time, or is it because I happen to be caught up, you know? So that's where the B plus comes in, where I was like, it's just right on the edge of...
It is the dawn of X. It is X-Men issue 1, and that's an absolutely fair reason to cut it by half a grade.
Yeah, for these first issues. You know, like next issue we'll be reviewing is Marauders issue 1, and that comes out next week.
Yes.
And so these issue 1s is more of a... You still want people to... If they didn't put in the time to read the House and Powers, you still want them...
If they heard the buzz about it, they haven't picked it up,
and they're like,
there's an issue 1.
Yep, cool, I'm going to jump on this, you know, and see. So, that's that. So we give it what we did, A's, B's. What do you guys give it? Comic quality poll, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know what you think. Let's have the conversation keep going in the comments below.
Yes, please. Looking forward to your guys' thoughts.
To be continued.
Cut all of that stuff except for what I just said at the end.